If you have multiple responsibilities in life, like working a job, going to school, communicating with friends, partners, families, and you are finding it hard to learn a new language, then this video is for you. A lot of people say, if you really want it, then you would really work hard for it. Or if it's a priority, you would find the time. I really agree with this saying, but sometimes it can just be hard to find time and make out the energy to learn a new language. Even if you have a goal and you want to succeed, it's really hard to find the effort and find the motivation all of the time. Learning a new language and getting a high score on TOEIC isn't all easy and fun all the time, but I try my best to find the benefits in it. For example, I know that getting a high score on TOEIC and being able to speak fluent English will definitely raise my value as a person, and this will definitely help me when I'm looking for a job or changing jobs. These rewards, immediate rewards, are necessary for success. But just because you understand this doesn't mean you can always make the effort. I think we've all been there where we're really motivated to do something like learn a new language and we really work hard at first. But then after a while, it gets too tiring. You can't find the motivation, you can't put in the effort that you once put in and you know you have to put in. This means that hoping for success is never enough, and motivation is not reliable. I wish I had the world's best control, but I don't. And for those that clicked on this video, maybe you might be feeling the same. I've had many experiences where I've tried to set a goal, tried to achieve it for success, but then I end up telling myself, I'll just do it tomorrow. I'll do it another day. And then I end up never doing it. So this means that when wanting to learn a new language or achieving something really hard, we can't just be relying on motivation and self-control in that moment. I think the key to learning English is finding the right balance, making it really fun and enjoyable so you don't feel like you need motivation or self-control. So first, let me talk about why you should learn a new language in the first place. I can name a couple points. This is my opinion, but one point why you should learn English is because if you are able to speak English, then that makes you a high-value person in the Japanese system. Being able to speak English in Japan is a huge deal because when you look around, there aren't many people who can speak English. If you go to European countries or Southeast Asian countries, it's actually normal for people to speak their native language plus English. But in Japan, you don't really see that, which means that if you could speak English, then that means there's more job opportunities, business opportunities. And even if you don't use English right now in your workplace, changing jobs is becoming the norm these days. So having English as a skill can really make you stand out from others. Adding on, if your value is high for being able to speak English, then that naturally means more pay. I've taught many students who achieved a high score on TOEIC, changed jobs, used that as a way to stand out from others, and ended up getting a higher salary than previous. Also, I think English isn't all about TOEIC scores and Eiken. If you can communicate using English, then it simply broadens your view. You're able to communicate with more people around the world, learn more about their cultures, and instead of only being able to talk to Japanese people, English gives you the opportunity to talk to so many people around the world. It's the most spoken language in the world. And I think English just gives you more choices in general. You might want to move out of Japan one day. You might want to work abroad. Then having English as a skill makes it more easier. These are the benefits I see in learning a new language. And I said that motivation and self-control isn't something you should totally rely on when learning a language. You should first set a goal. Really think about why you want to be able to speak English. Because let's say your motivation is slowly going down. You're not seeing progress, you're feeling frustrated. Having a goal that you really want to achieve makes it easier for you to make a comeback. So I really tell my students that you should have a goal that's very clear. If you're studying for the TOEIC or Eiken, choose a date and time and a score you want to achieve by that time. If you simply just want to get out of Japan and work abroad, then that's a very vague, big goal. So what you should do is really break it down. Think about what kind of jobs you would want to work abroad. Where would you want to live? What lifestyle would you want to live? What would your pay be working abroad? What kind of friends would you want to make? Really think about it instead of having a big, vague goal. So getting back to tips on how to make English learning something that you do naturally instead of having to rely on motivation or self-control. I think a big reason why people dread having to learn a new language in English is because it's very tiring. And I get it, learning English takes a lot of time and effort. But let me tell you that you don't need to put 2 to 3 hours every day studying English. No. All you really need is 5 to 10 minutes every day. This might not seem like a lot, but trust me, it's better than nothing. I think spending 5 to 10 minutes of really concentrated learning is so much more important than 1 to 2 hours of focusing when you're distracted. So the first thing you should do is, back to my point I mentioned earlier, set a goal. Set it precisely as you can and make sure you write it down. Then please start interacting with English every day. Some of the methods I recommend to you is naming 15 to 20 things around you in English while saying them out loud. Instead of remembering English words with Japanese translations, try remembering them as an image. This is a great way to create an English brain. You can also read children's books in English and also use the example sentences in your vocabulary books to create your own sentences. With the internet and AI these days, if you're unsure about how accurate the sentence you made is, I suggest you just ask ChatGPT. You can also use apps to talk to native speakers like NativeCamp, or you can watch some of your favorite English YouTubers. I also recommend you write a diary in English every single night. Please write down a diary in English starting today. I'll make sure to correct your English. The point here is to continue every day. It can be 5 to 10 minutes of studying every day, which doesn't always need to require motivation. And by continuing every day, you want to try and make English learning a daily routine. Just like you would brush your teeth or ride your bike, it is best if you can make English learning a routine that you would naturally do every day. Let me just tell you one thing. You don't need talent in order to be able to speak English. Of course, it would be better to have talent, but I believe that consistency can beat talent. There are a lot of people more talented than you. People who are in better environments and have more skills and money and clearly have an advantage than you. But what most people don't have is consistency. And that is because consistency requires a lot of effort and discipline. And a person with consistency is very rare when it comes to English learning. Even if someone might be smarter, more talented, more blessed with the environment, more richer than you, you can still beat them with consistency. According to the 100 laws, if you study for 18 minutes every day consistently, then you can improve more than 90% of the people in that field. That's how rare consistency is when it comes to English learning. So if you don't have time to study English because you're busy working your job, or you are finding it difficult to find motivation to study, or you are feeling down and disappointed on learning English and feel like giving up, start with the 5 to 10 minute exercise that you can continue every day. Remember, consistency is what matters the most. So start from today. Write down a diary of your day in English in the comments below, and I will make sure to correct your mistakes. Start with very easy steps. Just make sure that you are continuing every day. I also have videos where you can train your English for 5 minutes every night, so make sure you check it out. You don't need hardcore English studying right away. First, find easy English learning methods that you can continue every day. On this channel, I talk about fun ways and also efficient ways where we can learn English. I know it can be tough sometimes learning English on your own, but my goal is to help people through the screen on their English journey. So if you want to be able to speak English, if you want to get a high score on TOEIC, or you're studying for the ACAN, make sure you subscribe. Also, if you add my Line account in the description below, there are videos I haven't released on YouTube yet where we break down the pronunciations and practice listening together. And there are also phrases and vocabularies that you can't miss if you're aiming for the high score on TOEIC. So make sure you check it out and use that for your learning as well. Alright, that's it for today. See you guys!